Hello all, so welcome back. Uh, in today's lecture, we will be discussing central limit theorem. It is the most beautiful and fundamental idea in the whole of mathematics, especially the statistics and probability. So let's begin. I will try to explain each and everything, okay, at the very best level and with real life examples. So first of all, let me lay the foundation to discuss this central limit theorem, right? So let's say I have some distribution, right? Uh, for simplicity, let's say it's the distribution of population, right? Population of the world, right? Or the whole world is covered in this, okay? So this is the distribution, and let's say it's the income distribution, right? So let's imagine that in the world we have almost 7 billion people, right? Let's assume. So now, in order to calculate mean of this, suppose someone will ask to find the mean of this random variable, this distribution, then how we will find the mean? So it will be very complex task, right? In terms of computation as well as it is time taking, right? So what we will do from this population, okay, we will extract a part of it, meaning that from this population, I will extract samples. Okay, so we can say that samples are the subset of the distribution, the population, right? So from this, let's say we consider samples, and let's say I am considering samples S1, S2, S3, and so on up till SM. So from this distribution, I am just randomly calculating any sample, and let me move forward by proper notation. So let's say we have any random variable x which has this distribution, okay, and it is having a mu as mean and sigma square as variance, right? So let me write all the things, that this is the distribution of this random variable x, it is the mean, and it is the variance. And most important thing to consider is that, mind that this is not Gaussian. This is not necessarily Gaussian. It can be Gaussian as well, but I am considering the general case. So this is not necessarily Gaussian, right? It can be any. Okay, so it is not necessarily Gaussian. So someone might ask that it looks like Gaussian. So it is like Gaussian. So let me change that something, that right side, as we all know, Gaussian is symmetric. So let's say right side is somewhat asymmetric, right? So it is intuitive as well, because it is, since it is the income population distribution, so we can say that some very small amount of population is very rich, okay, in the world, whereas some has zero as well, right? Let's assume that it is approaching zero somewhere. So obviously in the world we have kids as well, and I hope so that kids are not having any income, right? So this is intuitive, that it is, I hope you are able to relate it to the world, real world. So let's say we have, again I am just clarifying the things, we have any random variable x with mu and variance, that is mean and variance, and please note that it is not necessarily Gaussian, right? So it can be any distribution. Okay, so this distribution is not Gaussian. Okay, it can be Gaussian but not necessarily, so it can be any distribution. Let's consider the general case. So from this distribution, what I am doing, I am extracting random samples like x1, x2, x3. Okay, these are the observations up till xn. Let's say we have in one sample we have n number of points, right? So from this 7 billion people, I am extracting only n samples randomly. Mind it, we are making these samples, okay, all the samples randomly. Okay, so it is purely random thing that I am extracting. I am not targeting any particular country or anything. Just I am picking randomly any samples, right? And technical terms is the sample, okay? And this term is called population. Okay. So let's say we have this thing. Now the next thing is, we also have in sample this one, we have x1, x2, x3, and so on up till xn. And similarly, we have n observation or data points in m samples as well. So in short, we created m random samples, right? And in each sample we have n observations, right? So out of 7 billion in the whole population, we have taken, let's say for simplicity, n equals 30. Just we are observing 30, okay, or data points, 30 people, okay, from the whole population, right? And we are creating such 30 sets m number of times, right? And this 30 has very much importance. We will be discussing this video only because I am not randomly writing 30, but for simplicity, as of now, just assume that we have n is 30, but 30 has a very huge and deep meaning. Why I choose just 30 only? Okay, so we will be discussing in a minute. So now let's assume that this sample S1, okay, has this n data points, and let's say its mean is denoted by x1 bar. Similarly, this mean is denoted by x2 bar. Please note that in order to avoid confusion, we have the main random variable has the notation of mu of the mean, okay, and over here these are the means of this samples, and this is xm bar, right? So what we have done, we have taken just the mean of this. So now I am taking all the means, okay, in one set again, and can I say that this means, let me write, this means, okay, all the means will also have some distribution. Is it? Yes. So let's just consider it like we are having a sample with m number of data points in it, right? So this is nothing but the sample of the sampled means, okay. If you have to write it in words, then it is called the sample of the sample means, right? So this is one more sample that we got, and now the major part comes. Now we are discussing the exact central limit theorem, that is CLT. What it says? So it says that the distribution, okay, this means when this means will also have some distribution. So this distribution, let's say denoted by xi bar in general, right? x1, x2 up till xm. So this distribution is what CLT says is now that this distribution which is obtained by the sample of the sampled means, okay, of the sampled means is Gaussian with mean as mu and variance as sigma square by n. And what is our n? N is our number of data points in each sample, okay, the sample that we created from the whole world population, and provided that n tends to infinity, okay. So I repeat that if what CLT says, again I repeat that if we have one random variable x, okay, which is any distribution, right? So it is any distribution of random variable x provided it is having mean mu and variance sigma square. And one more thing is that I forgot to mention that both things should be, mean should be finite, mu and sigma square, right? So both things should be finite provided. So you might ask that there are some distributions which have infinite variance and infinite mean. Yes, there are, and you can Google it. One of them is Pareto distribution. So we'll be making separate video on that. If you want, then please comment. I will make for sure. So central limit theorem says that if x is any random variable with mu and sigma square, this is this distribution. It can be any distribution, okay, provided the mean and variance both are finite. Then we can say that if we create a samples with some random data points n, okay, and let's say that we created m such samples. So by taking the mean of all this mean is very much simple, just sum all the things and just divide by total number of observations. So like that we have calculated the mean, and now this mean that we got, they also, this set will also have some distribution, okay. So we can say that this distribution of xi, so what CLT says that this distribution of xi, okay, means is Gaussian with mean mu and variance sigma square by n when n tends to infinity. But this is theoretical. In as a rule of thumb or in practical case, it is observed that if n value is 30, this CLT holds true. Okay, so if n is 30 or greater than equals to 30, then CLT is perfectly working. So that's why I said that this 30 has also significance that I wrote. So you can say it's not any particular hard and fast rule, but it's a rule of thumb that theoretically when n tends to infinity, it is the perfect definition. But in practical case, we are not getting much error if we consider n greater than equals to 30 or equals to 30, right? So this is whole thing that CLT says, right? So that's all about this. And one more term, this is the tongue twister, okay, that I haven't wrote that. So this distribution of this means I denoted by xi bar is called sampling distribution of sample means. Sampling distribution of sample mean. Okay, and why it is called? It is very intuitive because we have taken the mean, okay, and then again we have created one sample. So it is a sampling distribution of sample mean. So it's somewhat like brain transfer as well. So that's all about the CLT theorem. It is very beautiful theorem, very much used in machine learning and data science algorithms. So we will be visiting this theorem, okay, in our machine learning playlist. So stay tuned. Thank you.